oh wait, that I can hit GG to get to the Jira
Is
admin
GG on
menu.
GC?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, they
GG
killed my
still works on
GG. I
DC.
love GG.
Oh, GG was my favorite thing, and I still say it. I'm like, if you hit no, you have to
No.
do something different.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Summer of Atlassian 4.0. This is probably going to be our last and final session of the summer. Our release team always likes to make sure that they're the last one in the summer lineup. And so this last year we had Sean closing us out. This year we're going to have Brian from release team
Ooh,
with his last parting words of wisdom and discussion all around the Atlassian ecosystem.
wow, that's big
Welcome, Brian.
shoes to fill there. Thank
I
you.
know. Well, no release team conversation is, fulfilled without talking about toilets. So what in the world happened with your RV? And what
Uh,
did you do in the
s-
meantime?
yeah, that's a rough one. So I'll make it a quick story, but you know, somebody was using the restroom and
As one does.
went to get off the toilet, and they thought they were falling off the toilet. Well, what was happening was the toilet decided to come off the floor.
Oh,
So
okay.
it just completely went off the floor.
As the toilet should not come off the floor.
Correct. Whether it's an RV and house or just anywhere you're at, the toilet should still be on the floor. That's how you keep all the other stuff in.
That's how it works
um
most effectively.
yeah, right. So I tried to fix it, because in our RV we only got one toilet. Good thing is we're at a nice campground where there's a whole bunch of other restrooms to use. But I tried to fix it. That didn't work. Super glue, tape, all the things on the internet didn't work. So we had to have a guy come and fix it. So he came in. He thought he fixed it. He left. It's an hour drive for him. Somebody went to use the restroom again. Thought they were falling off the toilet. Didn't fix it.
So great transition to how to test your bugs in Jira.
Exactly. Well, and here's the thing
Meet
is
the
too,
requirements too.
I lightly tested it, but I was not the one that was on it when it broke. So I didn't realize how much it needed to have. So the key thing is here is the person that found the bug, make sure they
They're
test
the
it.
ones that, yeah. Talk about product owner acceptance testing, right? Like the
Exactly,
person that came up with
exactly.
the requirement should definitely be the one testing the story. You don't want to.
Exactly. So she showed me how so he came back another hour drive. So, another drive for him, came back out, and then I did a thorough test. It was full user acceptance testing,
And you gotta
thumbs
stress
up.
test your
Yeah,
edge cases will bite you in the butt, literally.
exactly,
Or in this case, make
exactly.
you fall on your butt.
Yeah, it'll make you fall on your butt or make you think you're falling straight into the shower. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's toilets. That's RV toilets for you.
So yeah, no, I have a day, so I don't know what my life would be like without them now.
Yeah, yeah. I was introduced to that over in Rome, and yeah, it's real
Yeah,
nice.
it's game changing. It's pretty awesome. So
Yeah,
anyway, so when you're not playing Mr. Fix It with toilets, what do you do at release team?
yeah. So I'm a
You're like pretty
DevOps
much the same.
yeah, the same thing. I'm fixing
Deal with other
people's
people's crap.
toilets. Yeah, yeah. Basically, that's what it is. Trying to keep all the crap in, make sure it doesn't come out where it's not supposed to. No, so I mean, that's the best explanation right there. But no, I'm a DevOps consultant, but my focus is on all the Atlassian tools. Over at Release Team, we like to do, anything that you need assistance with when it comes to like the Atlassian suite and other things. But my focus is on the Atlassian suite for like migrations, just implementations, just helping customers who are either using the tool or especially now with cloud, a lot of people are coming into Atlassian, especially teams that are not software teams, and just trying to help them understand what Jira, Confluence, what all these tools are, and how they can use it and work for their team efficiently and yeah, keep all the
Well,
crap
I
out.
think you're gonna have to build a whole use case around, toilet 101.
I know, right? I know. I think that's a good idea for a video is Jira versus toilet repair. What are the similarities? What board
It's
can I set up?
yeah, it's fine. So you will be like the last video that I publish for the summer. And so I think it's gonna be safe to make this announcement because I'm supposed to keep it under secrecy. I'm not a very big secret person. So there's a very, 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 very famous YouTuber out there, probably one of the biggest ones on the internet. I'll leave it at that.
Oh,
Who's doing this effort? And I don't even know if I'm actually going to participate because I haven't seen any communication since. But
okay.
essentially, they're getting a bunch of YouTubers together to participate in this world challenge to do something for
Oh,
good, right?
okay.
And so the title of the video is "How Jira Can Save the World."
Okay.
And I'm gonna be building a Jira project with stories and epics and bugs and stuff, just centered around this cause, and
Yeah.
how if you were to use Jira for project management around the cause, then you can organize all the resources for that cause and save the world essentially. So Jira
Yeah.
is not just for like building new products; it can literally change world lives.
Yeah, it's crazy the things that it could do, and see the different teams that use it, or the different, just everything is, it's kind of crazy. Even like when you go to teams each year, you get stories of how this team's implementing it, or how this team's implementing it, or this company who's been in email. That's all they do is they send emails to each other to try to like do these things. And a lot of those could be, why can't I think of the word? You donate money to help causes. I can't think.
That
Charities. Charities is
charities.
the word. Charities is the word. Wow. Toilets on the
Have you
mind.
had your coffee today?
But it's crazy to see, like, even charities will come in and they'll start, doing using Jira just to kind of keep track of things, or
Yeah.
where money should be going, or things like that. And I think it's
Yeah, no,
really
I work
cool.
with a couple of nonprofits where it's like how to set up, like they use JSM for like their donation system, right? Like for donors to come in and they have problems with the accounting or whatever, like they
Yeah.
got Jira for that. And then just to see the management of the projects, right? Of the different efforts and initiatives that they have out there. And Jira's a really good tool. Like I think too many people think, software only, but it can literally work for any team.
Yeah, and I was of that mindset too, because when I started using Jira, 2025. I started using it in 2011, so 14 years ago. I was on Jira 4 when I first started adding users to an instance, and it was just strictly for software development. That's all that we were using it for. And just as it's evolved, and as I've kind of, grown with it, it's kind of cool just to see, a library is wanting to use it. Like, just a public library wants to implement Jira to try to help keep track of some things, or to have it so that their customers, when they come in, they could just submit maybe a request for a new book, and that can
Mhm.
go through the county system to request that. So it's really
Yeah,
interesting just to
especially
see
when
how that's
JSM,
happened.
yeah, JSM doesn't require, a donation of an arm, a leg, and a kidney and an
Yeah.
appendix to set up like service now. Like if you don't come with a multi-million dollar budget, it's a non-starter.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny too, because you always hear that, like, when people are trying to move to over to Jira from a different software, one of the things you do hear about is how expensive and how long it does take. And I'm like, they're like, how long is it going to take us to create this Jira service management project?
You
And I'm
got
like,
30 minutes.
yeah, you give me a few minutes here, I'll go ahead and click it, and we'll get it. You want a template? Here we go. But and then it's kind of like the eyes wide open. Like, you go to a buffet and you see all those options that you can get once the buffet's already set up for you.
Right.
And then that's when they start going, oh, but I want this, and I want this. So that's kind of the exciting part. But you also kind of have to stay within your diet. Don't go too
Right.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's you can get overloaded with all the different options and then it leads to like what is it, analysis paralysis?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Analysis
Which
paralysis. Yep.
I think one of the reasons why I like Jira so much, and people usually hear me complain, right? But the fact that there's rules in Jira is what I like. Like there's
Mhm.
tools I click up, and this is kind of what saddens me about where the direction that Atlassian is taking Jira in, because I don't like that you can do everything. Like it's nice that you can do everything, but at the same time, I like having the guardrails
Mhm.
because my creative brain is too limited to think that
Y-
openly. Like I get so
Yeah.
overwhelmed by I can do this or I could do that. So that's why
Yeah.
I like that like the agile framework is built into it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it conforms you. Like you can get creative there, but you at least have some guardrails, right? Versus like if you go to like a tool like ClickUp or Monday, you're like just click on buttons and magical things will happen. I'm like, but I don't even know what that magic is.
Yeah. I need to know the magic. I need to, at least, and why it's doing that magic. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Even here internally at Release Team, we had our I'm not gonna say her name, but we had our partner manager. She's like, I want to do something in Jira. I need to keep track of all these things that I'm doing in Jira. How can I do that? What can I do? And you know, it's a unique use case, right? And it's let's stay within these parameters. Let's not go too crazy. Let's keep you in here and see how those parameters work, and then we can kind of
Go from
break
there.
you out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, it reminds me when you can have anything available, like it reminds me of like a sandbox game, a sandbox video game where you can go out and do all these things. You got your one quest, but then all these side quests. And then I get a little too
Yeah,
overwhelmed. I need to
and
know where
that's
I'm going.
I and with everything that I do, I usually like my wife knows is the best, right? But I like to find like a corner
Hmm.
or a starting point, right? But like when we're gonna do the house, and she's like, we walk around the house and we're like, we need this and we need to do this and we need to paint that section, we need to patch this section, and I'll go to the corner of the house on the street by the post op by the mailbox. Well, I'm starting here, so let's fix this grass right immediately after the
Yeah,
mailbox, and then we'll work. Like if I don't have a corner or like an edge to start with,
yeah,
like I can't just be thrown in the middle of something and go fix it. I'm like, no, I
yeah,
need to find a starting point to the maze.
yeah. Because then you're just kind of like spinning around, looking at all the things, and it just at one point you're just like, never mind,
Yeah, no,
it's
that
too
was
much.
like that's why I hate like open quest games like just any open like Grand
Hmm.
Theft Auto, right? Where you I like that you have the missions, but just going crazy and just driving around and I'm like, I need to find a place to start. I guess can't be free range, free roam.
Exactly. It's like if I find one of those side missions while I'm going to the main mission, yeah, I'll do that for a quick second, but I need to have that point to get
Yeah.
there.
Which is also why I absolutely do not like most modern documentation, specifically with Atlassian and Jira. I hate that I click into I want to know how to add a custom field. Awesome. There's
Hmm.
an article on a custom fields. Two sentences in. What is a custom field? Well, let's go to
Yeah,
this article. What is
yeah,
of context? Well, let's go to this article. I'm like, no,
yep,
no, no. Where was I with my original doc? I just want to read sequentially.
yeah. I just want to have what I'm supposed to do right here. Or it's like when you Google a recipe and you get like two paragraphs of why they made this recipe and how their backyard inspired their recipe. I just want to get to the recipe. I
Yeah.
some sometimes like yeah, like I want to create a custom field, one click. I just want one click to be able to create that custom field.
Which is why I still hold on to like my old Jira 7 document.
That's smart.
Back when you
That's
could print
smart.
out the PDF because it was a
That's smart.
sequential order.
Yeah, and it just went right down here. You didn't have to look at the sidebar to find all the other
Yeah, that
documentation to
like
click on it.
that part I hate so much because it's like Atlassian documentation is like, here's what's in this page, and here's like related articles that you should read, but interweaved like 50,000 times throughout the one page article. You got 50,000 links to 50,000 new
Yeah,
topics.
yeah, and then I don't remember where I'm at within that whole entire clicking.
Right.
I'm
That
like,
that
wait, where did I get to where's the first page at? I
17
forgot to
tabs
open it
later.
in a new tab. Yeah, it's like, wait, what was I originally trying to do? Is there a video that gets me right to the point?
And then
Yeah,
you're like me and I make the videos and then Atlassian changes the entire UI. And they're like, great, we're
yeah.
back to square one.
Or when you're making the video and then you forget about the UI or the wording, work item, no longer issue, things
And
like
you gotta
that.
go, yeah.
I've been doing some videos for the release team page, YouTube page, and I'm not trying to plug it, but just
No,
some videos there.
shamelessly plug them. That's why we're doing this.
And in the
Subscribe to
middle of
Release
it,
Team. Link down below.
yeah, link down below. Smash that like button. In there, the amount of times I say issue instead of work item, or then I swear that my demo page from one video to the next switched over to the new UI. It just had I must have clicked it because I was looking at it and I was like, I don't know where anything's at now anymore.
The plans on one of my clients, they got changed to the new UI. And I'm like, what the heck am I looking at?
Yeah, yeah. It's hard when you were going from one that wasn't updated to one that's been updated. You're like, wait, I go here to get the project settings. Wait, now I go over to the sidebar to look at the yeah,
Which
it's
I'm okay with the change. And I don't know if you see my post. I've been a little vocal
mhm,
about how much I do not like the new UI.
mhm, mhm.
But it's not that I don't like the new UI. I think that the UX of it sucks because you took things that were very intuitive. Like I'm sure you'll deal with
Yeah.
clients all the time, right? But my clients, I tend to do a lot of shoulder surfing, right? Where they call me up for a quick, because with I'm assuming with you guys are usually much bigger engagements, right? Where multi hours, right? Multi
Yeah.
weeks or something. But
Yeah.
with me, I usually get like a 30-minute call or an hour call tops, right? And so we don't go through all the paperwork and contracts to non-disclosures and all that stuff, right? I'm
Yeah.
just in their Jira, and they're like, "How do I do this?" Right?
Yeah.
And so the biggest annoyance that I've been having with this new UI is like the project settings is so freaking hard to describe.
Yeah. It really
Because
is.
it used to be like, go into your project. So it was
Yep.
very obvious projects. You pick your
Yep.
project. Then on the far left, scroll all the way down, click on project settings.
Exactly. Exactly.
And now it's like, click on your project. And then so they click on project, and then their whole UI just went like that.
Yeah. Exactly. There's a whole new
So-
expanded bar. Now you got to try to find it.
yeah. So now you got to find it because they're sharing all that real estate. And I'm like, okay, so now that we found it, I'm like, all right, click on your project, but don't click on your project because you got to hover over your project because that's how you're going to get the action menu button. And they're like, what's an action menu button? I'm like, it's the three little dots next to
Yep.
your project. And then out of the corner of their eye, they catch the three little dots on the far right side of the screen that's still there.
Oh,
And they
every
go
time.
all the way over there. And I'm like, no, 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 no. We're back on the left hand side.
Yep.
And I'm like to the right of the, and then they'll go right back to the three dots on the right side of the screen because I just said the word right again.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And I'm
Yep.
like, Atlassian, what? Why do I have to
Yeah.
suffer this much?
I agree 100% with that. And just like when we were setting up that internal project, it was a business project. You can also get to the project settings when you're looking at the business board. There's the three dots that show up next to the
But
project
that's
name
only
on the
for the
board.
business
That's
projects.
only for the business project. So then you have
I'm
to
like, why
describe that.
not have the same consistency?
Yep, yep. It's one of those things.
and
Another
and
thing
and
that
then and then on the board. So if you are on a Scrum board, the three dots for where the board settings used to be are still there.
yep,
They just don't do the board
they,
settings
they
now.
don't do the same thing. Yep. It that's always been, yeah, I've gone through that and learned that
I just
recently
feel
a
like,
lot.
again, going back to our toilet story because it was very relevant, right?
Yeah.
Be
Yeah,
like, you
it's
can't like the person who came up with this design needs to go and explain how to use a design to a person that's never used Jira before.
exactly.
Because
Exactly.
it's very similar to you, right? You stress tested it, but you weren't the one that caused the problem.
Yeah.
That's how you end up with a very expensive second call.
Exactly, exactly. And why do we only have two screws instead of four screws? Like, why can't it be this way? Another thing that I was running across, and it's just fresh on the mind because we were setting up that project. Um, when you have a save button and when things auto save, when setting up stuff or
uh,
updating fields, things like that. That's another one of those things where, like, well, do I need to hit a save button?
or a
If
publish
there's
button.
yeah, do I need to hit this? I'm like, if there's not one, I don't you shouldn't have to. Double check." Or do I hit the little check mark?
Yeah,
It's one of those.
it's hard to describe. Like I think you and me as admins, it's easy for us. I think I've adjusted to the UI, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But when you're trying to describe it to somebody else, that's when
Exactly.
things get tricky because it's frustrating, especially when you don't have annotation.
Yeah.
And like Zoom's like the only one that I know that has annotation nicely. But
Yeah.
everybody else, like right, and I have the amount of times that I have to tell people you're other right,
Yeah.
so they go left.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, you're right. For us as admins who are in that, looking at that part of it, almost every day, it's sure we figure it out because it's something that we have to dig through. But trying to really explain that to someone who's barely used it or is brand new to it, it is
Yeah.
very tricky. It is very tricky now.
And then I forgot who did this, but it was one of the partners. They came up with something. They had a LinkedIn post a week or so ago. Not sure if you stumbled on it, right? But the other thing that I would kind of appreciate is Atlassian did all the issues to work items,
Yeah.
right? So now any screenshots, any videos, anything you got to update it.
Yep.
Cool. Next week, after we've gone through the effort of updating our documentation to now say issues to work items, we get a new UI.
Yep.
Great. Let's redo all of our videos. And as soon as we're
Yep.
done redoing all of our videos, projects is going to become spaces.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
why can't we just? This is why kind of like server days, right? Where you just got a dump of here's 1,000 changes. Take
Yeah.
it.
You could choose when those changes are happening if you want to. You could. Yeah. I do, and it's one thing too is especially in kind of our line of work. You hop from cloud to data center, I mean, not everybody's running the same thing. So then you have to kind of retrain yourself. If you've been in cloud a lot, what's in data center and what options are in data center, how are things look in data center, and
Dude,
vice versa.
it's so bad though. I normally don't spend a whole lot of time in data center, but these last 2, 3 weeks I spent more time than I would care for in data center. And I am appreciating that they still have issues. I
Yeah,
am appreciating that the navigation still looks the old way.
right. Because I can do it with my eyes closed. I'm like, oh wait, that I can hit GG to get to the Jira
The
admin
Gigi still on
menu.
GC?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, they
GG
killed my
still works on
Gigi. I
GC.
love Gigi.
GG was my favorite thing, and I still say it. I'm like, if you hit no, you have to do something different.
Hi, I quickly wanted to interrupt your video to let you know about something big that I've been working on. I'm working on the big book of Atlassian, and this is going to be given exclusively away to attendees that show up to the Atlassian Builders Summit happening October 22nd through the 24th in Long Beach, California. This is a completely free event, a completely free book that you can only get if you come to our in-person event. This is something that's super awesome. I'm really happy to be putting this together. You can only get this in person. So make sure that you attend our very free event. All you need to worry about is your travel accommodations. We do have discounts for hotels. Use that link down below. Sign up for the Atlassian Builders Conference, and I hope to see you in October, and come secure your free copy of the Big Book of Atlassian. I'll see you in October. I've been reading this book. It's called Inspired,
Oh, okay.
on how to create tech products customers love. And
Oh,
the book is heavily focused on product management, right?
yeah.
But there's so much of it that talks about, because product managers, if I had to simplify it, make the requirements,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? They come up with the vision of what the thing should do, and then engineering goes and they have their stake as well, right? Because not every great vision is going to be technically feasible.
Right, right.
But the premise of the book on the pressure of the product manager to use the tool, that he basically says that a product manager should basically be like the CEO of a company. They should be so deep into the technology of it, the usability of it, the customer portion of it, that they're obsessed over the product, hence
Yeah,
the product manager role, right? But I feel like with Atlassian, as it's grown over time, I feel like we got product managers here that are creating these cool features that are probably not like. I read something on Atlassian from an Atlassian recently where like, I don't know how to do Jira administration. I'm like, how do you work at Atlassian?
that you should be able to, right? I feel if you work at
Like,
Atlassian,
yeah, like I feel like
should.
I don't know how your products work. And I feel like this new UX is a great thing where you're looking at the market and you're looking at your competition. And because I think of the new Jira UX as basically ClickUp,
Yeah. Yep.
right?
Yep.
And especially when we get renamed to spaces, we're basically just ClickUp,
Yeah. Yep.
right? And so a great product manager here at Atlassian is going to the competition, going, okay, so what's making these other tools great, awesome, but they're completely forgetting their customer here.
Yeah. 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 And like I said, I'm in the new UX. I see the new UI, use it, and I'm sure I've said we said things about like it's not that there's some issues, but I
It's good. I
understand
mean,
it
it's
as
not
well.
bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just I think the intuitiveness needs a little
Yeah.
bit of polish.
Yeah. I agree, and I'm all for having uh, a uniform look across all your products. I mean,
Yeah,
that
and
just
I'm all
makes
for
it
those new
easier.
icons.
Yeah, I'm all for any of that, but when that's being designed, you still have to think about who's using it. You can't
Yeah,
just
in
think it's all
general,
just
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
you
in
can't
general,
just
not
think it's
even
all new
bashing on
people.
Atlassian, right? Just any
Yeah,
company that builds a
anything.
product, you really, as again, we're back to our toilet story, right? Like
Yeah.
you
I mean,
you you need to put the real person that's going to be doing it on it, because
yeah.
you would think it's a subtle variable, right? You would think it's like, oh, it's an oversight, or it's gonna work. If it works for one, it'll work for 1,000. But sometimes we're creatures of habit,
Mhm.
and some people do things in a very particular way that you just don't think about it, and that's the edge case that it breaks on.
That's one of the things too. Whenever I do a project or anything like that, whether it's a migration or implementation, especially if it's a migration or they've used the tool before, I want them to use it like they use it every day. I want them to go through the steps, and I want the people who are doing kind of like you said, those edge cases, the users who are in there that are using it kind of weirdly, but they're still using it because I want to try to catch those to see it break those. But like I said, there's always going to be those edge cases that you can't always catch. Um, I can go off for a little tangent here about having someone like me start using another software and how the design is. Oh boy. So this I live in the RV full time. We travel full time. We're currently camp hosting here in Minnesota at a campground, and we have to use a software to check in people that are coming to the campsite. We have to sell them firewoods, things like that. And the person who's kind of developing, she's admitting it, doesn't use it every day, doesn't really use it to the fact that we would as a camp host. So within our first 3 weeks, I had, all right, this is what I would do. This is what we could change. This is what we could do. And she goes, how, are you in the tech? Like, how do you, what are these kind of things? I'm like, well, these are just kind of simple everyday life things that we would do checking in. She's like, I never thought about any of those scenarios.
That's that obsession
So
for customer centricness,
y-
man.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, this button here would be great. Is that something we could do, or is that something that could be done?
Uh,
So I've kind of felt the other side of it.
what is it? Airbnb. The CEO. I heard that the CEO of Airbnb, like he goes and goes through their process to get Airbnbs.
Yeah,
Like I heard, like the CEO of Uber back in the day would go on Uber and like go
yeah,
through the experience 'cause until you're on the receiving end, you don't really
yeah,
know where your gaps
yeah.
are.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And like with this tool, or just even like with Jira or anything, it's just trying to use it, set it up, then try to use it and see how it actually flows, see how it works, be in it. I was an admin when I started off using Jira. I was adding users, but then I was also creating tickets. So I kind of was able to have kind of notice those pain points when I was trying to create tickets or do things in the process and learning how to admin at the same time. So I was able to adjust that. But yeah, if you're gonna have the tool, or be responsible for the tool, walk through both sides, be in both
Yeah.
shoes to try to understand the best that you can. In an ideal world, everybody knows every product that they're using 100%, right? But at least go through that process, try
Yeah.
that process.
But it's such a critical thing, especially if you're developing a product. You
Mhm.
It's easy to sit or stand in an ivory tower and just say, "This is what we want."
Yeah,
But boy, like the rubber hits the road when you gotta assume that the end user does not know how to use a computer
exactly,
ever.
exactly,
Like never use
exactly.
a computer because and like it just builds a better experience when you walk in with that mentality because you make it dummy proof, child proof, and that's why like Steve Jobs. I don't know if you've heard this like famous story of him, right? Like, but he when they were coming out with the iPhone and the iPads, like styluses were all the rage, especially from
Hmm.
like Palm and them had
Yeah.
styluses, and Jobs was like, "Why do we need a stylus?" And they're like, "Oh, for pinpoint accuracy." And they're like, "Everybody carries 10 styluses with them. We got to make so they confirm the UI to work around fingers and not a high precision pen,
Yeah, yeah,
right?"
yeah.
But that then everybody got it right. Everybody intuitively understood it. You don't have to explain how to use an iPad to anyone, including
Right,
like
right.
a newborn.
They got it figured out.
Yeah, because
I,
it's intuitive, right? So it's got
yeah,
tech products need to be intuitive.
yeah,
Which is
yeah. And
again back to why I'm not happy with Jira because it's not intuitive.
oh, and another thing is too, it's just a very, in a practical, non-technical sense. I'm gonna bring up the campground one more time. This will probably be the last time I bring it up, but it just makes me think
No,
about it as a,
we still got 20 minutes. It'll be
yeah.
more.
It makes me think of like being an admin in tech, or a consultant or anything like that. We have people that camp here all the time. We ask them, "Is this your first time camp here?" No, camp here every summer, multiple times, 25 years. Then we get, so they kind of know the process, right? They know the process of how they're supposed to check in, how they get to their campsite. But then
Make
we
sure they
do
don't
have
make a
those,
mess.
yeah, make sure they don't break the toilets, things like that.
Yeah.
But then, we have those new campers that come in and they don't know the process. We do have some signs saying, "Stop here to check in." They missed that first sign. Then we have another sign that says, "Stop here for campground services." That's not clear enough for them, for a new user. For the old users, for the old campers, they know, "Stop here to check in if I can't check in up here." But the new ones, they just try to find their site.
Yeah.
So we need to point that sign to kind of say, update it a little bit for that new user to say, "Stop here for check-in and campground services." So it's,
So it's interesting you bring that up though, because that's a question and a conversation I had with Mike Cannon Brooks, CEO of Atlassian,
mhm.
back in April. Because I asked him, like, dude, what's up with this UI, man?
I like it. Just going right after it.
Well, so he walks in. Were you at the community lead?
Yeah.
Are
Oh
you a
yeah.
community leader or
Yep.
champion?
Yep. Yep. I'm a community champion. Yep.
Yeah.
I
Were
was
you at the
there.
dinner?
I was at the dinner, and I remember. I would think I was sitting. I don't remember who I was sitting next to. But I remember there. I think Mike showed up early or something
He was
like
late.
that.
He was there late.
Late. That's what it was. That's
Yeah,
what it
he was
was.
there late, and then he left early.
That's what. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah, and the reason I know that is because I left early
Hmm.
the community the champions dinner because um what was it? The dinner started like at 7 or something like that,
Yeah. Something
and then
like
the
that.
awards were like around 8, and then around 8:30 we skedaddled out.
Yeah.
And we skedaddled out right as Mike was coming up the stairs. So as we were exiting the Hilton and going down the stairs, Mike was going up the stairs or up the
Oh,
escalator to
I
go.
see.
And yeah, so he did the awards and handed them out, then did the photo op.
Yeah.
But he had an appointment,
Oh,
and
jeez.
that appointment was to go sit down with the Jira Life.
Right. Right. Right.
And so we left and we're out there and we're setting up and doing all of our thing, doing my checks and all that stuff. And as soon as Mike walks in, he's like, so you're the guy that doesn't like my new UI.
I like that.
But the reason I was going this, right, because I asked him, like, it's like, what's up with these changes, right? Like, some of these changes, again, to me, unintuitiveness is a problem. But he told me something super valuable, and it goes back to your campsite example really, really well, right? He's like, Alex, we can't have the experience of our tools to be tailored to the 300,000 customers we have today. We have to worry about the next 300,000.
Yeah.
And so it's very similar to you, right? Your campground signs are very good for the existing user base, but that new user base is not it's not working for them.
Yep. Yep.
So because you're gonna get the opposite effect, right? Once you update those signs for the new folks, the old people are gonna be out of place, and now they're gonna be complaining like we're about Jira's butt
Exactly. Exactly. They're gonna say, "I know where to sign in at. I know how to check in. You know,
until
why
you
do I?"
move it.
Yeah. Why did you move? Why is the sign bigger now? Why does it look
Yeah,
like
why
this
is it
now?
right in your face right at the beginning?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
Why?
because everybody kept walking past it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I went through the first sign. Why is there now a second sign telling me to not go through the first sign?
No, seriously, stop.
Please stop. You don't want to see me driving, chasing you down. Here's your papers.
But yeah, no, it's just hard, right? I think it's easy when you have a small team, small company, small campsite. But the moment you start growing,
Yeah.
the moment you start getting some momentum, like it gets tough. I don't think that there's an answer. It's definitely certainly not one with Atlassian's product manager.
Yeah. I mean, with any update, you're gonna you're gonna make some people happy. You're gonna
And
make
some
some
people
people,
mad.
yeah. And
Yeah.
usually the ones who are not happy are the loudest, right? So there could be 10 who are not happy, and they're gonna be louder than the 90 that are
Yeah,
happy.
and that's okay. But again, um, it's just a tough problem, right? And I
It
think
is.
I think as long as you strive for intuitiveness, right? So my wife and I are both engineers. And have you ever taken a lean class?
I have not taken a lean
So are
class.
you familiar with lean or the lean principles?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Kaizen and removing waste and
yeah.
right. And so I took this stuff, right? And it's hard to live life as an engineer. Give you a great example. I'll give you a couple of stories, but our church does a lot of volunteer work. I don't go to a mega church per se, but it's pretty big. There's like, I don't know, 8,000-9,000 people a week. So
Wow. Okay.
I found out that apparently the baseline for a mega church is like 10,000.
Oh, so just right there, almost there.
Yeah, almost there.
Just,
But anyway, so it's a pretty big church, and so there's a lot of community outreach and stuff like that. And we went one time to volunteer. We were packing boxes or backpacks for teachers or something like that. And what they did was everybody's kind of in the center of the room, and all the materials on the outside, and it's kind of like all out of order. And you were like, you had to go get an item, bring it back, stuff it, do whatever you had to do, go
mhm.
back, get a couple of items, bring it back, do right. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of cross traffic because people were on their way back going to get stuff, and then the stuff was all out of order, and there was an order to put them in,
yeah.
and so
Okay,
people were just
okay.
like, it was a big hot mess. So I kind of stopped everybody, and I put the things in order,
Yeah.
and then I made a table. Basically, I made an assembly line,
Yep. Yep.
right? And I told
Yep.
people, come with your bags and just stick them in, and you're walking down, and you're just station by station. You're going down the list. And you just so
Yep.
we finished 3 hours ahead of schedule.
Okay.
Every
Okay.
it was a 4 hour activity. We got done in an hour, and the event organizers were like, "Well, this is strange. We never really had this happen before." We're
Everybody
like,
stay there. We don't know what to do now.
"Yeah,
We're
we
all
don't know what to
done.
do with all this extra free time." But it's one of those things where like my wife and I get super frustrated when we're out in public because like all we're looking for are inefficiencies and
Hmm.
unintuitiveness, right?
Yeah.
And it's sad how much of that inefficiencies there are out there. One time we went to a taco shop here in LA, and you walked in. So the line to walk in, and so
Hmm.
when you walked in, there was a register. So you would take the order,
Yeah.
then you would have to go to another window to pay for the order,
Yep.
and then you went to another order to give them your receipt. Then you went
Yeah.
to another window to pick up your order. Then you went to another window to get your condiments.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, why am I going to 5 different places, 6 different places to do the thing? I only need to pay and get my receipt and do everything there, and then pick up my order here. Like I need 2 stops.
Yeah, right, right. There doesn't need to be all these stops. That's funny you say that because there's I'm a big barbecue fan. I grew up in Nebraska, not a barbecue state, but Kansas City was only 3 hours away from home.
That's
And
a
you
barbecue
mentioned,
city.
yeah, that's pretty good barbecue. And it's funny because you go to all these different barbecue spots and you notice the inefficiencies, kind of like what you're talking about with that taco shop. You notice the inefficiencies of the ones that aren't as busy, and then the ones that are very efficient and are busy, but it doesn't seem as busy.
Like
And yeah,
Chick-fil-A.
yeah. I mean, it's one or two windows. I tell you my food here, I pay here. The second I turn the corner, my food's here, and I'm already sitting down. Compared to other ones where, like I said, I order my food here. Now I got to pay here. You're going to give me my drink. And then the window over here gives me my food, and there's six people waiting to get their food because they
Yeah.
can't sit down till they have their food, things like that.
Yeah,
It's
there's a have you been to Tacos El Gordo in Vegas?
no, sadly, no.
They're based out of San Diego in Chula
Yeah.
Vista, but they're
Yeah.
one of the best taco places in San Diego, and then they have a place up in Vegas. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you get in a line by the meat that you want.
Oh, really?
If you want a carnitas, it's one line. If
Yeah.
you want asada, it's a different line. If you want pollo, it's a different line.
Oh, that's
And
smart.
I'm like, well, no, how? Like, what if I want one of each?
Yeah,
I'm in five
that's true
lines.
because you know what? I am a carnitas and an asada person, so like, and if you got chorizo as an option, then is that
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
where
in
do
like 5 different lines to get one of
yeah.
each.
Yeah, like I may want a torta with asada, and then maybe I want something, something with some chorizo, like a
Yeah, versus we when we have birthday parties and stuff, we usually have a taquero come to the house. So they
mhm.
usually just like, how many do you want? I'm like, one of each. So he puts the tortillas in the plate and he just and you got five five tacos in 30 seconds.
I will say this, I've never growing up in Nebraska, South Omaha, very efficient, a lot of delicious taco places, and it's so efficient, it's so fast. Like I've never seen efficiency compared to that. It's like, all right, I don't even know what I'm ordering when they're already making my food. Like, we're just gonna assume that you want this. Here's your five tacos. Here's your torta. Here's your chips. Here's your salsa. Here's your horchata. Go sit down.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's
Yeah, no,
and now it's
time is money,
lunchtime.
right? The
Yeah,
more time you're spending with not getting your food out, the less you're likely
yeah,
to get customers. But again, a lot of applications to toilets and Jira and
yeah.
even making Jira projects, right? I think that's one of our biggest jobs is to make sure that we meet requirements, but also are efficient about it.
Yeah, yeah. It is, and it's kind of like that unspoken requirement of having it be efficient. Because when they bring someone in to build a project, when somebody's reaching out for that kind of help, they're doing it because they're not an expert in it, or they don't fully understand it. And they assume that we know how to make that project, but then also that's one of the upsells is making it an efficient project. So
Yeah.
walking, like I said earlier, walking through that project after you create it, because I'm gonna know some weird clicks if I put some weird clicks in there, or if I'm building a form, maybe this field should be dynamic instead of it being just all stagnant and you're scrolling through 10 different questions. Maybe it should be a little more dynamic, things like that to really make it user friendly. So building it and then walking through it as that end user, I think is ideal. It's the way that it should be.
Yeah. So in these last 5 or 10 minutes that we got left to go, 9 minutes.
No,
What was your team experience like this year? How did you like Anaheim versus Vegas?
you know, it was
What
cool.
memorable moments?
Yeah, no, a team was cool. I've been going to Team Summit, whatever you want to call it, since 2013, and this year in Anaheim was cool. I'm a big Disney person, so we moved from Nebraska down to Florida to get a little bit closer to Disney World, and because it was job, but being able to just kind of go to Anaheim, and then this is the first time I've stayed at a hotel that was just right next to where the team was at, was really cool, and just you know it being in California felt a little bit different than being in Vegas. California, it felt a little more laid back.
Hmm.
Um, that's speaking for me. I didn't have interviews and all these things to do. I know your experience was a lot different than my
Yeah,
experience,
we were
obviously.
hustling the whole time.
Yeah, every time I saw you, you had, either five pieces of equipment getting ready for something or things like that. But no, it felt like it was a little bit more laid back. I really liked the hall, the way the hall was set up. I thought that was cool. There was good
The outdoor
food
section, I
options.
never even made it that far out.
I never made it to the outdoor section because I was like, it's kind of hot. I'm gonna stay inside where the air conditioning is. But the outdoor section was cool. And then I mean, being able to do the community leader stuff, doing, the little
Go to
special
Disney?
trip.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
did
went
Disney
to
night?
I went
Okay.
to Disney. I got to meet two leaders I've never met before, and then we were like best friends throughout the whole entire time. We were sitting there like, all right, what ride do you want to do? Make sure we hit up this ride. Let's
You
hit
missed
this
out
ride.
on my bandwagon. I got Sean, I got your boss, and we all just went out and we spent the
Yeah,
night together.
yeah, I missed out on that whole thing, but it was really cool. I really enjoyed it being there, and I was able to go back up and do some stuff down at downtown Disney. And like I said, I really like the setup, and um the bash was pretty cool. The bashes, there was a lot of food
Yeah, I
options at
enjoyed the
bash.
bash this time.
Yeah,
I think the previous years it was a good. I like that it was more of a rock concert.
yeah, yeah. It
I had
really
no.
felt,
They killed it the moment those Domino's pizzas came out. It was like finally
yeah,
real food.
right. It was like, here we go.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, it was cool because it really felt like an actual concert compared to like when the B-52s were there, but they were out in the middle of the water and you couldn't get near them, so you're just kind of like at the edge of the water saying "Love Shack." This one, you're hand clapping with them and they're right there, so
Yeah.
it was cool. But I mean, I always enjoy doing team. If somebody hasn't been out there and they work or think about using the products, it's a great experience just because, yeah, the talks are good, but I really like it for meeting with the people and just chatting with people who
Yeah,
use
because
it
the
or
Atlassians
want to
are
use
on
it.
the expo floor for the
Yeah,
respective products. So especially from
yeah,
an Atlassian's questions perspective, they're there.
yeah,
Then you get
and just
all the partners and stuff too.
yeah, and being able just to talk to like all the vendors about like, you can look at the marketplace and see all these, and you put out wonderful videos explaining a lot of these apps that are out there, but you can go up to the vendor and be like, "Here's my specific use case. How does this work?
Yeah, and
Does
they
this
love
meet
it
it?"
because if it's not a feature that was on the roadmap, they go, We'll add it right now. Just give me 20
Exactly. I
minutes."
exactly. Well, I met a guy the year before who had a Salesforce connector, and I had a customer who was really wanting a specific type of connector, like to do specific things. I can't remember all the specifics right now because it's in the past, but I chatted with him last year in Vegas about it, and then this year he was like, "Hey, I remember you. Also, check this out." And I was like, "That's great. I'll let that customer know." But it's things like that, and I like Vegas, but I really like California. I really
Well, I
I
live
land
across the street, so
Yeah, you're right there. I know everybody was having a good time, and I landed in Long Beach, the most random
oh,
airport to land in,
that
but
one's
Long Beach,
nice.
I love Long Beach
It's all
Airport.
open, air
It's
outdoor.
blew my mind. I got off the plane, walk off the tarmac, and I'm like, all right, going into our regular building. I'm like, wait,
I'm so
no.
excited.
Yeah, I'm like, it's all outside. I'm like, this is the most California thing I think I can experience right now is just this full open airport.
I have not flown in and out of Long Beach since 2008, but I
Yeah,
hear because they got a major redesign like back in like 2012 or something like that. I
it's
went
real
to Castle
nice.
Long Beach. I went to Castle Long Beach and I worked at the Boeing company in Long Beach, and
Oh, okay.
so I got to see all the planes taking off from Long Beach Airport all the time. And my
Yeah.
university, the School of Engineering, is on the approach for the landing.
Oh, okay.
So we got to like they were like you could touch the wheels
Oh,
of how low they are
jeez.
right there.
Jeez, yeah, no, it's a beautiful airport, and I'll talk about food again. There was really good food. I got a there's a couple of places there, but the food
Mm.
was good. I had to
Next
wait a
year,
little
yeah,
while.
next year if you I got to do more foodie recommendations for people, but right across the street from Long Beach Airport, there's like a more of a hipster foodie hall type of thing,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it's really cool because it's called the Hangar, and they took I don't know how much you know about aviation history or if you even care for aviation history,
Yeah, yeah.
but DC aircraft, Douglas
Mhm.
aircraft was founded in Long Beach area.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And so all that used to be Douglas aircraft from back in the day. So they have the original hangars, they turn them into food halls, and like the original runway is part of the whole thing there.
Oh,
And like
really?
yeah, and then there's plaques of like the evolution of DC aircrafts, and I became like Rockwell International, and then Rockwell Collins, and then Boeing bought it. So there's like a lot of history, and you get to see like markers of like cool
Oh, that's
historical
cool.
things in aviation. And then it's
That's
down the
really
street
cool.
from Downey, so Downey is where, the space program was for
Yeah,
the space shuttle.
yeah.
And, we're in LA. Hopefully, by the time team comes around, no, maybe not. Maybe by the team comes around next year, the full exhibit with the rocket ship and the
Oh,
boosters will
will
be
it?
up. 'Cause
Oh,
they erected a new building. So there's this the Endeavor used to be laying flat, like, on its wheels.
yeah, yeah.
They put it upright with the rocket with the boosters on the sides, and then they built an enclosure around it.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's really cool, and it's been under construction for a year and a half now, and I'm assuming it was a 2-year thing. So it should be done by the end of this year.
That's cool. That's
But
cool.
that's in
That
LA. That's in downtown LA by LAX. So that one's kind of cool. But yeah, lots of food options. And in Anaheim, if you didn't get a chance, the Packing House is kind of cool. There's a
okay.
lot of food options.
I did not get a chance. The main place I went to, and this wasn't on purpose, it just happened, it was a happy accident, and it ended
In
up
and
being
out?
a customer meal. No, I didn't realize that we were so close. I had a former customer of mine tell me In-N-Out was like 20-25 minutes away, so I missed
No,
out on that.
there's an In and Out down Ball Road, like maybe
Oh,
not.
is there? Oh, so
Yeah.
it's just right there. We
Yeah.
went to, we did Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles,
Okay, I was
which
gonna. I've never been, but all my friends in high school said it was like the best thing ever.
yeah, I mean, it was good. It was good.
Was it? I've heard
It
a lot of good things. I've been wanting to go ever since like 11th grade.
it took me back to high school. Like, when I
Did
was
it?
sitting there, I was like, we've got the MJ, like, Michael Jordan poster sitting up there, some 90s R&B was playing. I was like, "I feel good."
I gotta go. I told my wife to go check them out because we were in the conference the night we were eating at the conference, but my kids
Yeah.
and wife were with me, and I'm like, you should guys should go check it out. But they didn't venture because it's like a street. It's like a whole another street over.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a walk. It
Is that where
wasn't
you
the
guys were going that one time that Brian or that Sean was gonna go with you guys, but Sean ended
Yeah.
up not going?
Yeah, yep, that's exactly where we ended up going. We had one place planned, and they were too full, and I was like, "Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles?" So,
It's worth it. All right. Well, Brian, hope to see you. I don't. Are you going to Bacon, Barcelona?
I am not. Nope,
All right.
I'm
Well, I'll see you
I'm here.
hopefully in Anaheim next year. Then I'm
Yeah,
already
for sure.
prepared for it, so I'm already
Yeah,
there.
I plan on being there. It was
All right,
chatting.
Brian. Thank you so much for joining me and for being here. Sorry again for being a little late, but
Yeah,
things happen, I guess.
it happens. Toilet issues,
All right. Make sure you check out Release Team. Brian makes some. I've seen a couple of your videos that you make for Release Team, and so good stuff there. So we'll link him down below. Make sure you subscribe over there. And Release Team is one of my favorite teams in the world.
Can't. Yeah,
But
we're pretty
not
okay.
sponsored. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
All right.